Well, I've got a ewe that's had a set of triplets. They're pretty small. One of them's not doing very well. It was really windy out, and it's probably the first one she had. It's got chilled. I've got it in a warming box right now, trying to warm it up. I'm not sure if it's going to make it or not, but we're going to try. The other two, one of them is fairly active, one of them's pretty droopy. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the one out that's kind of droopy, and I'm going to take its temperature. So before you feed it, before you do anything, make sure it's warm. It needs to be over 100 degrees, ideally about 103, but just use one of these. I just use this thermometer here. You take the temperature rectally, so I'm going to do that, and as long as it's warm enough, I'm not sure if it has nursed or not. I'm going to go ahead and give it about a half a ounce of colostrum replacer. I don't use colostrum supplement. Use the replacer. The supplement is to supplement what the ewe is doing. The replacer is if the lamb's not getting any. And I'd rather err on the side of the lamb getting plenty. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Take this lamb's temperature. I'm kind of in a hurry here. And then we'll give it some colostrum if it's warm enough. I'm going to tube it. I'll show you how I do that. Take the thermometer, hit the button on it, get it going, find that little rectum. Where you at in there? And we're just going to gently slide that right in there. This particular thermometer will beep when it's done reading. We're at 99. Still climbing. Well, it hit 100. We'll go ahead and let it finish. It's probably what it is. Hold still, little fella. Okay, y'all probably didn't hear that beep, but it ended up 100.3. Ideally, I'd like 103, but at least it's at 100, so that's enough to go ahead and feed this little feller. Let me get some colostrum for him. All right, now to tube this lamb, first thing I'm gonna do is pull my syringe up here. So it almost comes out. I'll show you a little more of what I got here after I get done. I want to get this done. Let me see if I can knock that camera down a little. Hold on here, little fella. Put this tube in its mouth. You want to put it in, measure to about the end of the lamb's rib cage. And look at where it's at in its mouth. That's about how far you want to put this in. So just start feeding it in, and they will generally start chewing on it. Come on. Let's get you up here. Come on. Get in there. There you go. So as they're chewing on it, just gently feed it in. You want to make sure you're not getting it in the lungs. Kind of getting tangled up here, aren't we? If you start seeing any air bubbles coming up in that colostrum, you know you've got it in the lungs. So get it out of there. When you've got it fed in where you want it, Now pull the syringe plunger out and just let it gravity feed in. Don't force it in there. Just let it gravity feed. Once that's all in there, I stick the plunger, don't push it in, just enough to seal it off. And then gently pull this back out. And let's get him back with Mama. Now I'll explain this maybe a little better when I'm not in quite such a hurry. This is a 60 milliliter syringe, holds 2 ounces. It's marked. I fed a ½ ounce to this lamb because the ewes got colostrum. This is just kind of give that lamb a little extra energy and get him going. He's been a little over an hour and hasn't nursed. I'm kind of watching as I'm filming this, and he's actually getting in there and trying to nurse right now. So feed this in. You measure the end of the tube back to about their last rib. Just kind of lay that beside the lamb, up the neck. Where's the end of the mouth? It is a good idea. First few times you're doing this, have you a Sharpie or something and put you a mark on here where you want to feed it into. And this puts the milk right in there where it needs to go. Make sure, like when I did the ½ ounce, see the syringe was all the way down here. Don't feed this in and then pull that syringe all that way out because you're sucking all kinds of stuff out of that lamb. Pull up your ½ inch or your ½ ounce that you want, or your ounce or whatever you're gonna feed. Go by the directions on your package. Then pull this out. Then just pull this syringe up, let it suck in some air until the plunger's about to come out. All the liquid will settle to the bottom. Feed this into your mark. Then just gently pull this out. Let it gravity feed in. When it's done, I stick the plunger back in here, but don't push it in. You can also just put your hand over it to try to seal it off. The reason for that is any milk or that's left in the tube, even if it's just a few drops, as you pull this out, you don't want that to come out of here and get into their lungs. So seal this off, gently slide it out. This is not as hard as a lot of people are afraid it is the first few times they do it. Don't be afraid to do it. Just gently get it in their mouth. They'll start chewing on it. And as they're chewing on it and swallowing, you just keep feeding it in. Listen for air. Make sure you've got it in the right spot. Let it gravity feed in. Seal it off. Ease this out. And the lamb's ready to go. Now, as far as the colostrum, I said I took the temperature of the lamb first. I want him over 100 degrees. The colostrum, I feed at about 100 and I like to have it close to 110, 105 anyway, about 105, 108. That's the temperature the lamb should be, or just a little above. If you got one that you're trying to warm up a little bit, don't get it too hot. In fact, a lot of this colostrum, when you get it too hot, it starts to gel on you, and you might as well just throw that away and start over. This is using a powdered colostrum. That's what I'm using. I apologize for looking away, but I'm trying to watch that little lamb. Let's get a look at him. See, he was laying around all lethargic and not doing very well, and that ½ an ounce of warm colostrum in there has sure perked him up. And that gives him the energy to fight a little more and get in there and find that udder and do things the way he's supposed to. A ½ ounce doesn't fill the lamb up so much that he's full and doesn't want to nurse. It's just enough to give him some energy. Our other little lamb over there, I'm going to have to probably give it a ½ ounce too. I think it has nursed, but I can't guarantee it. So I'm going to just err on the safe side and give it just a little bit too. And let me go check on my really cold one that I'm not too sure about. Now, I don't have high hopes for this little lamb. It has gotten chilled. I'm having a hard time getting it warmed up. There's no need to try to feed it until it's warm. But I'm going to keep working on it. It's still alive. It's not real good signs here, but we'll keep trying. All right, let's give this one. What is it, a girl, boy? Oh, this is a little girl. Let's try this one. Get my air out of my syringe here. Give me a better stool. Get that in there. There you go. Chew on that. Come on. Come on. All right. There, just took that long. Cap this back off. Slide this out gently. And let's put this little girl back with Mama. Looky here. Well, at least got a head raise out of it. Yes, I'm using a blow dryer to get some good warm air in there. I've got a thermometer stuck down in the bedding a little bit, trying to ensure keep things good and warm down under the lamb too. Boy, that is a good sign. It's got enough energy to raise that head. Welcome to the world, little one. You had a rough start. Oh, looky there, looky there. We're just going to let you warm for a little bit longer. Put this down, get you warmed up. Now I'm gonna let this lamb warm a little longer before I try to feed it anything. Lambs are born with what's called a brown fat. I apologize if the blow dryer is making too much noise, but I gotta keep the lamb warm. These lambs are born with what's known as a brown fat. Most babies are. That's what they use for their energy to get going, to stay warm till they start getting some milk in them. When they're cold like this, they use up all that fat reserve and they just don't have much left. That's why it's so important to get them warm. They also can't really utilize that colostrum you put in them until they're warm. So that's the most critical part here, is get this thing warmed up. I'll let it warm just a little bit longer, then I'll take its temperature. and take your temperature. See where you're at. Well, you feel warm. .4. So you're getting there. Let's get you back in here, lay you on the other side. Yeah, I know. I know it. Yeah. Let's warm you up a little more. I know the camera may not be doing great. Doing what I can. Lamb gets priority. Turn you around. Everybody see you. Maybe. It's actually working its mouth like it'd like to nurse. See if I can get in there and take that temperature without disturbing it too much. Making it use all of its energy. Let's see, little girl. $100. Well, girl, you earned yourself a meal. Okay, girl, let's get you something to eat. Get my set up here. You need something to eat. That's it. Swallow it down there. She's chewing on it. Gently push while she's chewing. If they start coughing or gagging or anything don't seem right, take it out of there. You're probably getting in the lungs. Ooh, get away, wasn't you? Oh, boy, you are a totally different lamb than you were just a little bit ago. Let's go ahead and let you warm up a little bit more, though, before we take you back to Mama. Well, little girl, how you doing? Huh? Boy, you look so much better than you did earlier. You ready to go over and try Mama? You want to go over and see how that works? Let her stimulate you a little bit. Let's give it a try. Yeah, let's see how Mama does with you. You okay with you? Oh yeah, she remembers you. Yeah, you'd like to get in there and get a drink, wouldn't you? Big brother's kind of in your way. You're a good mama. Some mamas don't want to take them back after you take the lamb away for a couple of hours. I'm pretty careful to use rubber gloves when I'm handling the lamb. Of course, I did have it in my lap and different things, but try not to get any more of my scent on it than necessary. Well, I'd sure like to see that other one get out of the way and let this one nurse. I really suspect this was the first lamb born, the one that got so cold. She cleaned it off good, did a good job with it. Then I think she probably had the other two and got busy with them, and that one just kind of got left behind. Well, it finally got up on all fours. Don't think it's going to get much nursing done out of that hay. Maybe to get turned around here. It's just kind of a judgment call of how much to interfere and how much to let them work it out. Well, I got my bottle ready and everything. And the little girl latched on. And she's just a drinking away. That was a drink of life right there. Well, the little girl's a fighter. I'll give her that. Are you on there? You're right at the dinner table, but yeah, I believe you're on there. A lot of times you'll see that tail wiggle. There you go. There you go. I don't know if you noticed that. The U kind of hunched up just a little bit. A good mother will do that. She'll hunch her back and expose that udder good for the lambs. So she's got two of them nursing right now. All right. I believe we're going to be okay. That's sure a far cry from what that little lamb was a few hours ago. It's still going to have a hard time because it's the smallest one. That lamb was under 5 pounds. It's like 4.87. Its litter mates were 6 pounds and 8 pounds. Well, girl, you're not going to get anything under there. So these are not huge lambs by any means. I'd like them bigger, but for a set of triplets, I'll take it. And this one being so small, it will really have to get in there and fight. What it does have going for it is, of these triplets, 2 of them are ewes and 1 is a ram, which is always in the ewe's favor. If you end up with 2 rams and a ewe, the ewe will most generally get bullied out by the boys and will have a really hard time. I'll just keep a close eye on these, probably keep them in here in the jug a little longer than normal. Make sure they all get off to a good start. And if I need to, I'll supplement one of them with the bottle. There, I can tell now that lamb is latched on there good. Good job, little girl. Good job.